Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Premier League presentation. We're going to be bringing you guys a game between DD Dota and Alliance. This is going to be a best of one series here in round 2, setting it up to see who is going to be going on into the grand finals, who's going to be going into the 3rd and 4th place decider here. So, interesting matchup here. These teams have been really dominating. They've been leading the pack, and now we're going to see these guys matched up against one another. Going to be a very interesting game. Innovative Alliance versus DD has been very interesting as far as their own mindset when it comes to the draft itself. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what they have in store for us today. Jumping on into the draft here, we're going to see myself, of course, and Blaze, and here is Triumph of Man. What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm feeling good for this one. And straight away, look at this, DD. Nope. Don't want to play the Admiral Bear Dog. They're going to ban that out straight away. We'll see what Bulldog falls back to. I mean, his other two main played heroes after that, I believe, they are in order, Nature's Prophet, and then I'm pretty sure it's Bounty Hunter after that, or it might have been Darks here in the 3rd spot. But Bulldog, of course, plays a fairly few select heroes, but then we go Darks here also being banned out, so it looks like I'm going to stay. We'll probably see Bulldog on the Nature's Prophet, but we'll see. We'll see. Wisp also being banned off against DD, though. Now, Alliance do have the 2nd pick here, so we'll see what they go for. I'm honestly, back when we were casting them in Season 3, back when there were no title under, the whole Wisp and then Sven was a lot of fun, but it looks like we won't be seeing that. And again, here we go, the Trent being banned against DD. It looks like a lot of teams are really worried about that. Batrider, though, the 1st pick for DD.
Yeah, a lot of aggressive potential out of that. That can be very interesting, whether they run it on the mid lane or kind of take it into the jungle or something along those lines. It's very scary, not only in his initiation potential once he gets that blink, picking somebody off and just kind of signaling them out, but along with that, going on in and just winning a 1v1 matchup hands down in the right situation. I mean, things like Magic Stick can deal with the napalm harassment to some extent, but as a whole, Batrider in a 1v1 mid is generally going to have not only rune control, but control of the lane, unless he's up against a very skewed matchup. Either way, Lifestealer and Nature's Prophet does come on through, so it does look like Bulldog will be running Furion on the offlane / jungle, and then Lifestealer going to be picked up for Lodi here as their number 1.
It looks like DD are going to play a fairly familiar lineup. Bane being picked up along with the Gyrocopter there. Batrider as well. So Lifestealer, of course, no real surprise. I mean, we've been seeing, this is probably one of the, I'm pretty sure across both the TI3 Western and Eastern qualifiers, he was the most picked and probably the most banned, one of the most picked and banned heroes across both of them. So no real surprise to the Alliance to grab that. And of course, Loda has been playing an absolute ton of Lifestealer. The question is what they're going to stick with him there. Of course, they've got the Keeper of Light, so plenty of Illuminate / mana spam there. And, I mean, if they really wanted to, with the Chakra, I mean, you can get aggressive with that. The Lifestealer, of course, works fairly aggressive. But that said, I'm pretty sure, Alliance, even though they're innovative, they try new strategies, they run new things, they're always looking to push the curve. At the same time, that once they get settled in, they're fairly predictable. So, again, pretty sure we'll see Alliance take this one as a safe try lane. They'll have Lifestealer, just get Loda farmed up, get him that early Midas if they can, and just settle him down to get the early items that he wants. But, that said, 2nd banning phase coming out, looks like Magnus is the first one to get picked off, Blaze.
Yeah. So that's, of course, a solid one to take out. S4 with that Magnus can be very dangerous, and on the mid lane, that's certainly what they would be looking for to deal with that Gyrocopter more directly. I find it really interesting, the Trent ban that we did see in Phase 1. This is 2 teams in a row up against DD Dota that have taken out the Treant in the 1st phase. They really are concerned about that amount of pressure. I believe Godblack's the one to pick it up, but either way, it's just so different than what we're used to seeing as far as high priority heroes, but Treant just used to great effect there, and the other teams are just really not willing to deal with it and not really obviously wanting to pick it up for themselves. So interesting drafting mindset there, but hey, if it's something that they want and you can deny it from them, that's really the whole point of the ban. So we'll see it come on through here. And now we do see other interesting bans such as Templar Assassin and Alina. TA is something that could work in their lineup, but it would have showed the Batrider off to the side for offlane / jungle, and the Gyrocopter as a number 1. But it would have been very annoying to deal with, not only as a mid, just dealing with the refraction and the Psyblade harassment, but also as the Lifestealer, who doesn't have the best base armor until he gets the armlet. Of course, that adds in a bit, but even so, Templar Assassin, the big thing is just amplifying the physical damage so that even when he's immune to magic, they can still dish out quite a bit here. But answering back, DD picks up their Queen of Pain for the mid, and Rubik is going to be the follow-up support for Alliance.
Yeah, I think that Rubik a nice pick there. Plenty of spells to steal. Of course, Rubik versus Bane, it's pretty much a guarantee. Like, if as long as Rubik doesn't get disabled in the middle of it or gets blown away by Queen of Pain / the cooldown, he can pretty much guarantee getting his hands on the Fiend's Grip, which can be a great turnaround. But I mean, pretty much all those heroes have a great series of spells you can steal with no real duds there. But the Obsidian Destroyer, the OD band there, I'm not really sure about that one, but they decided to pick it off anyway. And also the Puck being banned as well. Puck, of course, I mean, S4 is a very lethal mid. It's the kind of player who can really put Puck to good use. But that said, I mean, I'm not sure about the OD ban there. I mean, if they really wanted to, I mean, they could quite easily justify picking it up if they wanted to play really greedy. Just put OD in the mid, have him get farmed up there, and of course, banishing someone with the Astral Imprisonment, it pretty much guarantees a setup there for Keeper Light. Just landing, if you can get it on a priority hero, it pretty much guarantees that you're going to land a massive Illuminate on a target hero, and then of course you can throw on Sanity's Eclipse. And early on, Sanity's Eclipse and Illuminate probably some of the two highest AoE damage spells you can come across. It's really, really painful to get slammed by both of those in a 1-2 combo. So I guess they might be a little bit worried about that. Said I'm honestly not sure if Alliance would have gone into a full, really greedy lineup where they try to farm a carry in mid as well as a lifestealer. So I don't know about that. But of course, Nyx is always a really, really problematic hero to have to deal with if you're an OD. So they've decided to last pick that anyway.
Yeah. These last two bans and this recent pickup by DD kind of tells me that they really want Queen of Pain's laning phase to go well. They don't want OD to be draining her right-click damage for last hitting. They don't want Puck to be able to silence her and screw her over. They don't want Nyx to be mana burning her up. They want to make sure Queen of Pain has the potential to start steamrolling early, can go and be mobile, be ganking, be aggressive with some heavy burst damage, and synergizing that with Gyrocopter is going to be very, very effective. But it is going to be a completely different matchup than what you would normally see in the mid. Now that they've banned those out and picked up the Nyx, we're going to see Queen of Pain versus Clockwork, which is actually pretty interesting. I wouldn't say that either one has the biggest edge up. If a Clockwork plays it right, the Cogs will do a huge amount of harassment on the Quap. If the Quap plays it right, then the Shadow Strike can do a lot to the Clockwork. So it really comes down to a little bit of back and forth there, but it's definitely going to be the lane to watch. Beyond that, the Nyx Assassin setting up the Bane pretty effectively, a lot of damage, whether magical or pure, to come on through from that lane, and might make Admiral Bulldog think twice about the off lane, though most likely he will head down that direction just because that's where he prefers to head on through. But it's going to be an interesting matchup here. As you mentioned, Rubik is probably going to be the big player to watch because not only is EGM's Rubik amazing, but on top of that he has so many great things to take away with either the Fiend's Grip or some Queen of Pain abilities could be really, really strong. So we'll see that. Also, just going to point out real quick, Queen of Pain is running that cool little cosmetic. It does evolve with the watching of TPL, so those in Dota TV each get that, as well as the viewer count upgrade for it to evolve it as it goes along. That's a cool little thing. But beyond that, how do you feel about the current matchup, about these two teams drafting up against one another?
I think the mid lane, like last match, we're probably not going to see a whole lot of action of it. Both heroes are just going to get farmed up. Then neither hero probably is going to manage to land a kill, I don't think, unless somebody else comes to rotate and cause some trouble there. And it's going to come down to whether or not, yeah, somebody does rotate. Or obviously, Queen of Pain, once she hits a 6, she becomes far more dangerous. If she goes to level 6 ult, I mean, there are Queen of Pain builds where you just stay, you decide not to gank until level 8 or so you don't pick up the ult until then. You just get a few extra levels straight up. We see a defensive wall being thrown down fairly early on, though, by Alliance. Looks like they are just going to sit up there and protect their carry. I mean, that's pretty typical Alliance. Pretty much they just focus on getting low to farm more than anything else. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of rotations, especially since Keeper Light as well as Rubik. I don't really think they've got the lockdowns necessary to shut down Queen of Pain. But that said, Queen of Batrider is going to scout them out here, going to cop a bit of damage as they actually throw down a ward up in the high ground. And it's not going to be too serious. He's going to have to probably pop his salve early on. But at the same time, he should be just fine. As we see Bulldog just trying to do a bit of creep jacking here with the Treants.
Interesting item build that he went for the Basilius of Clarity. The second I saw that, I'm like, okay, well, he has to be going jungle. That's obviously jungle items. But in this situation, it shows that he just really, really wants that mana. Godlike going to actually cancel out that Clarity. He's just kind of AFK right now. I'm not sure what that's about. But taking a few right clicks back and forth. Either way, what he's going to be doing is just spamming those Treants and trying to do as much as possible with them. First, starting off to block off this pull here. This will not spawn for the 30 seconds. However, it should be up for the next minute unless Bulldog has something to say about it. Either way, a lot more pressure on mid lane than I expected. We do see not only Cogs aggressively placed as for S4, but also Ake flanking on behind. Maybe looking for a courier snipe, but Funzy going for a very conservative item build won't be looking for that anytime soon. No, just Illuminate harassment. Wow, that's just really annoying for Funzy.
I think I know what Bulldog's doing with his items there. Basically, this is he's going to come down this bottom lane and says, you know what, if this lane is safe and I can farm it, I'll then sit here. But if not, if things go poorly, I'm just going to go to the jungle. And I mean, he's got items that he immediately can go into the jungle with if he wants to. So it's not going to be like, see here, he can just come in here, grab the first wave of experience, fairly easy. Oh, actually, not so much because Goblak's getting very aggressive. They're pushing forwards, but he can grab a few creeps worth of experience and then go screw this. I'm jungling, and just leave if he wants to.
Yeah, another big aspect to this is that he has twice over now used the treants to block off the spawn, and Nyx doesn't really have much to do against that. So really, what he's making sure is that Nyx is staying at level 1 for a very long time, has to leech experience from the lane, because he will not get that pull off, and as a result, Nyx won't be as quick of a level 6, his Vendetta will be less and less of a factor, and that could really, really help the Alliance supports make sure they can get sentries and get survivable enough that the Nyx won't be as much of a threat. So good movement from Bulldog, denying Nyx, getting some experience safely, and as long as he's very, very secure next to this tier 1 tower, then he should actually have a pretty good time of things. Meanwhile, the rest of the action is up on the top lane there. Farming it up, we do see Loda already sitting at 12 CS, moving in towards a Midas Rush with the same build that we saw him earlier on the Alchemist. So, going to pick that up in no time at all. And he's going to be in a pretty good position from there. Either way, though, one spawn finally comes on through, and fucking Mad, very happy to be able to pick up some experience finally.
No, he's not, because Bulldog again used the creep, used his treants to actually block the pull.
Oh, there you go.
They spawned, but he messed up the pull timing.
Fair enough, fair enough. So yeah, that does change things most definitely. So really, he's just going to be sitting here, 120 experience. And yeah, that's going to be so frustrating to deal with. And then here come the treants again. Perfect timing from Bulldog. They're trying to barrage them down. They might even nightmare this treant just to stop it. They want the stack to come on through. It might just happen. But they instead go for the pull. So treants wouldn't have been that much of a factor either way. But they finally do get a single pull on these Alpha Wolves here. So taking that on down. Meanwhile, Batrider farming up in the jungle. Moving in, he has 500 gold. Plus his boots already active. So doing pretty good here. But Funzy has to watch himself in the mid lane. Actually, missing that out. Goblak going deep and taking a kill away. Was able to get not only Nightmare but Brain Sap off to bring down Bulldog. And a little bit of a duel back and forth, but here's a retaliation. Is he going to get the neutral kill? No! He is dead in the presence of both Nature's Prophet and Clockwork, splitting the gold 50-50.
I don't think Clockwork actually managed to get that. Clockwork actually just launched a rocket flare from mid, landing that. But yes, Nature's Prophet, I'm pretty sure Bulldog arrived just in time to pick up the experience leech there. So Bulldog not really losing a whole lot there at all. Not a bad turnout for them. That said, of course, Bane did obviously benefit getting the reliable gold. He really didn't lose that much because he's just been getting passive gold anyway, so a decent result for him. A nice attempt to suicide, but in the end not working out for him. I should also mention this top lane. Baron is actually doing fairly well, 21 CS at the moment. I think this is mostly just because Keeper of Light as well as Rubik just haven't been that active in terms of trying to force him out of lane. Instead, they've been focused more on pulling. You see Keeper of Light, in fact, stacking like crazy in the jungle right now, and Rubik just completely focused on pulling. This is leaving Loda just to farm here. I mean, until Batrider actually manages to pick up his ult, he's not in too much danger, because if he does get stacked up a ton of times, he can of course just rage to get rid of the sticky napalm and run away.
Oh, good TP from Bulldog. Good TP from Bulldog. They had the hasted Queen of Pain, they had Goblak flanking on it, and honestly, Dire didn't have any vision. This is just Bulldog knowing what he's up against, knowing the threat, and the second he saw Queen of Pain not harassing S4 in the mid lane, he knows that there's pressure coming out other departments, and so he falls back, he TPs safely home, and that could have been devastating, but blindly is able to avoid what would have been an easy kill.
Indeed. Keeper of Light, though, has picked up some counter wards. Looks like he's going to get stuck in with the counter warding in a moment, or maybe he might have started off with them just in case the pulls were blocked. That said, Loda on farm-wise, he's managed to pick up a pre-5-minute Midas. He is looking extremely dangerous. Going to go into this mid-game with a fair amount of cash there, and I'm actually very worried here. That said, Batrider should be able to get his blink on time fairly early on. He's just not being pressured at all. Although EGM now are going to try and cause some trouble. In fact, they might go for a kill here. It looks like Batrider going to back up, though. Should be able to walk away here. I don't think he's going to get caught out. Even with the open wounds, he should be able to just walk away from that just fairly easily. That said, Bulldog now, it looks like, yeah, there we go. So he's picked, with this early Basilius, he can now just do the Ancients. The Treants have enough armor to survive and just tank this. So, you know, if he can't sit in the lane and farm for whatever, he can just go straight into the, well, it's not tank to the jungle, but he can just go pick up those neutrals without too much problem in mid lane, though.
Yeah, S4 is going to be able to hook shot. Actually, it only connects a stun onto Funza, I believe. A lot of damage coming across from that Illuminate, and Bulldog should be able to clean this up with one more right click coming out. Goblak will fall, turning around onto Ake, though. They get the stun from the low ground, and they do get a 2-4-1 exchange. And meanwhile, on the top lane, there was that gank coming in. Finally, EGM able to connect with his telekinesis and setting up so that through the use of the Infest, Loda was able to pick up that kill there. So, really effective for them to pick it up and make it 2 for 2, even though across the battlefield it was kind of spread on out. But either way, the smoke came on through, and that set it up so that Bane could make sure the Clockwork is locked in place, and that's where the aggression happened. If the creep wasn't between S4 and the Queen of Pain / Bane, that hookshot would have been really, really good. But unfortunately, connecting with the creep, I don't know if he got anything out of that.
I'm going to have to say, going into this mid-game, it's going to get fairly dangerous for DD. A couple of reasons. For specifically, Alliance has some good mobility heroes. Bulldog, of course, can teleport, and he can bring a friend with him, which is Loda, can get those ganks off, and it's going to force Gyrocopter, I think, to play a lot more defensive than he'd like, have to farm fairly defensively. On top of that, if they want to get into a fight, a good hook shot from Clockwork will basically pin somebody that they don't like in a corner with Loda, and that's going to end badly for them, without a doubt. There's going to be pretty much nothing they can do about it, apart from, say, Queen of Pain. Batrider, of course, can get out as well, but I mean, Clockwork can just cut his way free if necessary. And again, there we go, stacking Aki. Still stacking like crazy. Aki, of course, loves jungling. His two most played heroes, junglers Chen and Enchantress, massive amount of time with them he plays. And again, even with the non-jungler, he's still jungling regardless, but he's just getting ready, I think, for Loda to blast through them. Or he might just get ready for some eliminate stacks. We'll see whether or not he's just going to use it for him to get ahead, or if he'll try and feed it to Loda instead.
But if he does get it for himself, that early mechanism is going to be a really, really big impact. You generally see it picked up on the Clockwork, but if the Clockwork doesn't have to, you can go for some bigger and better items, maybe like a phased drum type buildup, so they can be mobile and active and very, very, very frustrating to deal with, or any other just really good tank items to stay mobile. We do actually see Batrider deny himself to a neutral. I don't think that was intentional, actually, just a range auto attack from the Dark Troll Summoner, and yeah, it looks like the Batrider just got a little bit overzealous in his farm and got a little greedy and paid with his life. Of course, not losing too much out of it, but it does set him back a bit for his Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, tier 1 tower down at bottom does get taken care of, and so that's going to be taking care of that. Meanwhile, on top lane, Loda finishes off the tower here, but it is silent, doing a lot of damage to EGM with that Brain Sap call down, but the Nightmare is actually active on the gyro. Finally, EGM will drop down, but not after doing a lot of stun onto Silent. Now running out of the trees, there's the Infest, cleaning it up and easily getting a kill on that gyro, which is a very, very important one. Unfortunately, did not get the damage onto Goblack, so didn't have any opportunity to kill him. But yeah, they take it away. 2 for 1, as there was also a simultaneous, I don't know what's up with these simultaneous ganks, but they also get a pickoff on the Queen of Pain, which was via the Clockwork Hook. So really, really good maneuvers from Alliance, and they're leading 6-4.
Yeah, I mean, you land that hook just as he's going for that charge, the Illuminate charge. It's going to do some... Actually, no, I take that back. His Illuminate's only level 1. It's not going to do that much damage. Although that said, Queen of Pain is kind of squishy at this stage of the game. I was just going to talk... It looks like he is going for the drums. Clockwork is going for the drums. I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. Those cheeky cogs there. Just using the teleport in his placement, knowing exactly where he's going to land. But I honestly not a huge fan of the mecha on Clockwork, just because he's a fairly... his spells are cheap, but he likes to spam them. For his mana pool, he's pretty mana intensive, and I think he has some serious mana issues early on. Mech is, for him, very costly. I mean, 125, what is it, 125 mana for a mech? It's really, really expensive compared to his spells, and I honestly don't think he's got the mana pool to support it that easily, even with tread switching and trying to bottle a wand in the middle of a fight. I think that's fairly difficult for him to manage and just rotate from gank to gank. And I would prefer to see it on the Keeper. That said, of course, I do have Keeper, I suppose, with Chakra, but it looks like a bit of a gank there. They are going to manage to pick up EGM most like. EGM going to go down, hook shot in, though, and now the counter-attack from Loda. Cogs go down as well. Fucking mad, trying to back the hell out there. The Rage not going to be affected there by the Carapace at all, and Loda will pick up a kill. He's on a spree right now, and of course, S4 helping pick off the Bane on top of that. And that just, things going from bad to worse for DD there.
Yeah, S4 really wanted to get the hookshot just slightly sooner to interrupt the ultimate of Bane, but it's only a Rubik pickoff in the end, so they're happy to take it away. And Lyso just getting more and more farmed. He has 3-0 right now, and has a CS almost topped out, 61 compared to that of the 66 from the Gyro, and they're in a great position there. Yeah, I hear what you're saying about the mechanism. It's a pretty limiting factor when he has such a low base mana pool. Just combining the mechanism active and his ultimate together, and that's 300 mana down the drain. So he doesn't really have that much to spare, even if he does tread swap it. So I definitely prefer to see it on the Keeper of the Light. But for right now, Ake, despite some very aggressive jungling, isn't doing that great. Now EGM down on the bottom lane will be picked off here. A lot of stun, a lot of right clicks. Does throw some damage the other direction. Setting up Clockwork can come on in. Infest! They got a Nyx bomb off this early on. It was actually kind of a Nyx bomb, if that's even a thing. Jumping on in, they Nature's Prophet teleport with the Infested Lifestealer. S4 is there with the TP. They clean it up, and yet again, they're biting the Rubik. They're losing him over and over. But DD, getting those kills at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, this is just it. Oh, hook shot in. Goblack now in some serious trouble. Going to throw the... No, gets Nightmare before he can do anything about it. It looks like Goblack managed to get away. They try to help him get out of the Funzy. Now comes in. The Cogs get thrown down. Are they going to swap it again? No, Nightmare just going to expire there. Now the Jolene comes in with the Batrider. Throws down the Tiki Napalm. Blinks away as he gets hit by open wounds. Fortunately, just getting away before copying any damage. And will walk away from that. So a bit of skirmishing back and forth. But neither team managed to land a knockout punch there. And we're going to see S4 rotate back to the mid there and just try and defend this mid tower, as it looks like Silent has decided to come to the mid lane and he's just finished off his drums there as well.
Yeah, this they're going to be able to bring down this tier 1 tower very, very quickly, and they do have kind of the backup to do it. But with S4's hookshot being readily available, they can actually retaliate. If they do try to pressure the tier 1, they might get the tower, but immediately after, S4 jumps in with hookshot, and there's going to be a lifestealer pretty much wherever he wants to be. Because that infest, that phase, the drum, he gets the global teleport from Prophet, they're using the next bomb, and then he has so much mobility because of the item build that he went for, kind of race car type lifestealer. So in this position here, I just gotta say that Alliance have all the potential in the world to be as aggressive as they'd like to be, and even have vision on Nyx Assassin right here. His Vendetta expires, and even if he walked on in, there was that sentry available, so they don't really have much ground to stand on. Funzy popping off that haste rune, looking for initiation, just wants to get the tower, and it is killed by Gyro, but there is going to be that hookshot and the cogs backwards. Trying to go for illuminate damage as well, just poking and prodding, waiting for the full engagement. Here comes EGM. Can he get the spell steal? No, he gets it, but unfortunately falls before the Sonic Wave coming out, and now there's the lasso. S4 getting picked off here, call down damage. Loda is caught in that Fiend's Grip, and there's a lot of right clicks coming on in. Might be able to bring him down, but he just is so darn tanky right now that they're just going to fall back. S4 trying to connect with Battery Cell. He gets in range, and that's going to be a kill. No, Brain Sap. Keeping him alive, and Loda in a really rough patch right now. Going to try to get the kill on Queen of Pain, but she blinks away. Getting kited left and right. Just has the phase boots away, but there's the Flame Break. Beautiful Flame Break coming out of Socks, and they actually get the kill. However, there is the Rocket Flare to make it a very, very remorseful kill indeed, because Queen of Pain did get dropped down in the end. So back and forth, 12-9 in favor of Alliance. Really, really fun engagements.
I mean, I think that was worth it. Sure, they lost the Queen of Pain, but they took down Loda, and the main thing is Gyrocopter managed to get the hell out. Silent got out of there, got some damage in. Oh, another Rocket Flare came in, just hitting Silent down to 49 health. Barely getting away there indeed. I was going to say, if Furion... in fact, I think he could have died there. If Bulldog was actually watching where that was going to land, he could have actually thrown Nature's Wrath at him. But anyway.
Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
But in the end, Bulldog busy farming, they didn't think about that. But EGM now going to steal what together. He managed to pick on Impale, of course, Impale. I mean, any stun you can steal with Rubik is always great. Any hero with double stuns is incredibly lethal. You've always got to watch out for that. So now Rubik having that available. Keeper Light looks like Keeper Light going to do the mobility of the the majority of the warding here, and they're going to give Rubik, I think, the farm to get mobile.
Yeah, honestly, he just needs something to bounce back. Right now, he hasn't had really tank at all because he's just been dropped down so many times. He's actually died 4 times with only 5 assists. Adding that up, he doesn't even have boots of speed right now. He just got the cash for it. So EGM couldn't afford to be sitting at this stage and having to buy out wards. He bought out, I think, one pair that's 150 gold, but beyond that, he needs to get a little bit of durability, finish out the magic wand, maybe pick up a bracer on top of those boots of speed, and it's all very, very much. It looks like, yeah, Ezreal will be able to TP on out of there. Funzy trying to go for the kill, but not getting that opportunity to do so. So that's, I don't know, I think that's a really good move. They don't get the mechanism as early as they'd like to, but they certainly will set it up so that EGM isn't dying at the beginning of every fight, which is pretty important considering we mentioned over and over again how awesome that spell steal can be if he gets the opportunity to use it.
Speaking of mech, if they're going to go for mech on S4, now will be the time to go for it because he's actually picked up a point booster, so he's got the mana to possibly handle it. Now, is he going to port top? They might actually just try and pick off stuns. Oh no, Silent in some trouble. Infest goes down, misses with the trees there, and he will manage to walk away, unfortunately wasting a bomb there. Although it looks like now fucking man in some trouble. The Flame Break going to come through, not going to do a whole lot. Carapace comes up, he's trying to get the stun in on Loda. Loda will manage to ride it out there with the rage, and will get the kill as well. Now, Funzy going to jump away into the trees and teleport out. We're going to see the flare up there, not going to see the hook shot come through. It is on cooldown at the moment.
They actually used it to pincer in the Gyrocopter. Full duration Illuminate on top of that hook shot. The S4 and Ake were able to clean up on the Gyrocopter, and from there, of course, Loda was just going hardcore on that Nyx Assassin. So, although that Sprout was very, very unfortunate, they wasted the Gyrocopter's cooldown, and then they cleaned him up anyway. So, really, really good for them, and of course, they got the deny on that top tier 1. So, the gold advantage going very far ahead for Alliance, and we see that turning into some very core items like the Armlet now picked up on the Lifestealer, and Nature's Prophet can go for pretty much whatever his heart desires. Lothar's or a Scythe of Ice is probably what he's going to be looking for next.
An alliance, so actually rather DD throwing down some offensive wards here in the enemy jungle, just spotting that up as we see Loda actually, oh not Loda, S4 throwing the throws the point booster on the ground before accepting the chakra there, just to help boost up the mana pool even further. It's a smart move there. Now the question is what he's going to go for next. I think he's actually just going to go straight. Well, they've already got a drums on the team, so he doesn't need to turn that brace from drums just yet. I don't think Loda's out of charge. No, he's got one left. He might actually just go straight for an Argonauts. We'll see what he wants to do with that. But there we go, Smoke Ganking, and these wards just spotting up in the enemy jungle so they can prepare for these Smoke Ganks, of course, also allowing them to find targets for Nyx to go and Vendetta in. Throws down yet another offensive ward here. DD really want to get these ganks in the jungle and put pressure on the map. I like this. I like this a lot, Blaze.
Yeah, I actually really do. One big thing is that you're dealing with this Lifestealer Nature Prophet combo. You can't be by yourself just farming away, or you will be picked off by the Nyx bombs. So in this position, it's just like, okay, well, we have to kind of go 4 to 5 man together and put pressure out so that they can't make those combos work. Well, why not make sure that we're on the surprise attack and go in and get wards in the enemy jungle, smoke on in whenever you see the opportunity, and you can get some big picks. So really what it has done is force the Alliance out of their jungle, and although S4 has the potential to go for amazing hookshot Nyx bombs, really that means that they're not farming their jungle, and right now Queen of Pain is putting pressure on the tier 2 top, whereas Alliance have kind of put all their pressure out on the mid here. So we'll see it come on out. S4 looking for a target, but for right now just going to right click down on the tower.
I should also mention here that looks like Bulldog has picked up a Midas of his own. It looks like he's going below. There's Hulk in though. He's trying to catch him. Misses.
Ooh.
Silent though. Can they get a Fiend's Grip there on S4 instead of Loda? I don't know about that one there. But they will manage to pick off. They will manage to pick off poor old Silent anyways. Now the cogs go down S4. The Illuminate comes through as well. Goblack gets finished off as no. Wait, he throws down the Nightmare first. They're going to transfer that back and forth. Bulldog going to get it taken off him by Aki. They will bring down the tier 1 as well. And that's 4 down for Alliance. 4 down for DD. In return, they only lose the Rubik.
Yet again.
Again, Rubik getting picked off, but that's a good deal. I mean, obviously.
Oh, easily a good deal. Oh my goodness, yeah. Like you said, the Fiend's Grip on S4, I think it was a good knee-jerk reaction in the sense that, oh no, he could get hogsed in, but the end result, kind of analyzing it further, Loda has so much movement speed that Gyrocopter just can't get away. So staying on top of him, he was able to get that last right click in. Admiral Bulldog doing a nice Wrath of Nature to help supplement that damage, and they were able to pick off Gyro and just clean up the fight from there.
Oh, that and the hookshot missed. I mean, he was already retreating, and the hookshot missed him. And that's what he's going to get a pick off here on Bulldog, possibly Flame Break as well. Actually, no, he doesn't throw in the Flame Break, the Firefly as well as the Lasso. They're now fucking out in some decent trouble here. Loda, though, the counterattack is coming. Rage is up fairly soon, though. Might be able to get away. He
missed the Flame Break. Oh, wow. He overshot it. He tried to force him back, and the second that Flame Break came out, Loda was like, screw it, I don't have Rage, I can just TP, and Nyx didn't get in range. Wow, that's so lucky for him.
I mean, Rage was literally a second away. He could have actually just waited Rage and then TP'd if he really wanted to, but he just said screw it and ran for it. And he picks up a Basher too.
Yep. So he's in a great position to lock down further. Even if the Gyrocopter does finish out that BKB, he's not going to be in a great spot. So right now, Silent has a lot of ground to catch up for. He is going in for the stacked Ancients, going to farm those up quite a bit. But with Prophet now having a Shadow Blade, the aggression is out, and this Dire Ward has been non-stop on the Ancients. I love this from Alliance. They continuously, over and over, Ake has been placing this ward on the high ground of the Ancients, and so they know when Gyrocopter's there. Would be initiating on him right this very second. Unfortunately, they don't have the hookshot up. He used it to try to get a pick off on him when the Gyrocopter is going for top rune, and although he got the double damage out of it, he still didn't actually get the pick. So now it's DD that's on the offensive, looking for S4 here on the top lane. I assume the follow-up is there. They're swooping on in. Now they just have to connect on top of S4, but he actually has hookshot range on the creep wave up top, so they have to wait it out. Right now, DD, his Vendetta expires. He gets the ward vision on S4. There's the cogs, though, and I don't think they can actually follow through on this.
I want to also make a point that DD, they are hell-bent on map control. Queen of Pain has an Orchid now, and she also just picked up, I don't know if it's her or one of the supports, but somebody picked up a Gem of True Sight. They are hell-bent on getting this map control down and making sure that Alliance are going to have trouble at the very least spotting them up for these. I mean, this is good. Like, as long as Alliance are having trouble spotting them, they don't have to worry nearly as much about getting jumped by Nature's Prophet with an Infest Bomb, or even the Clockwork hooking in with the Infest Bomb there as well. So it's going to give them a lot more room to breathe and move, and it's going to put Alliance on the defensive there. As you're going to see the Illuminate getting charged up with the ult there. The counter-attack against the Rosh attempt is coming, but I think they might just get this down in time. No, Batrider's coming in. He's going to Firefly Lasso. Loaded there, though. He gets stunned instead. Jolene down some trouble. Throws down the Flame Break. Will manage to get up to the high ground. The open wounds causing trouble. Queen of Pain gets destroyed along with Nyx and Bane as well. She manages to get the steal in, though. Snatches the Aegis. Respawns. Jumps up. Brings down Keeper of the Light. that it's still 3v1. It's still 3 down for 1. Alliance still in a very strong spot at the moment.
Yeah, they had such potential to pull somebody out of the pit there, but unfortunately for them, Loda was able to get a bash proc off on his right click, so was able to keep Batrider in there for far too long, and from there he only had time to run away himself. So he did, as far as I can tell, survive, but yeah, he didn't really accomplish anything there. They get the kill on Roche, and although the Aegis is not in their hands, Queen of Pain was able to snatch it on up. That immediately was dropped down by her being on such low life in that position there. So, good snatch, but not really gaining any edge in this engagement here. Coming in, there's this huge Sonic Wave, trying to finish off EGM. One right click will do it, but Fonzie will be dropped down during the telekinesis. Load on the front line. Should be dropped down here. Armlet Toggle, not going to be sufficient to keep him up here. As for as his Aghanim's up, and in 7 seconds we'll be going for another hookshot, but Admiral Bulldog will be dropped down in the meantime, as there was that Nightmare active. There's a Cogs coming on through, but doesn't have any hope in the world of getting out of this situation. So, oh my goodness, if he did. Oh, he almost had it, actually. I almost spoke too soon there. He got actually a good movement where he was actually going to intersect with the creep wave with his next hookshot, but they blocked it off and he was dropped down. So, turning it around, DD looked really, really poor in that Roche engagement, but were able to follow it up when Alliance got greedy back towards their tier 3.
I'm going to say if Nags had the Aegis there, if they managed to get that Aegis, if Queen of Pain didn't snatch that, that quite easily could have been a tier 3 tower down, because they blew both of their superior magic ultimates to try and pin him down just for that first duration. So if he came back up at full health, full mana, that could have quite easily been a completely different fight. That said, also should mention, I'm pretty sure Queen of Pain's gem was destroyed. I don't think anybody picked it up as far as I can tell. Also, Nature's Prophet, Bulldog, looks like he's working his way towards a Hex on top of that.
So, yeah, going to be able to accomplish a lot there. But, I don't know, it's been pretty back and forth, very, very interesting matchups so far, but I really think that DD have to be taking these fights a little bit differently. They want to start off not responding to what Alliance is doing, but to find a position that they can exploit of Alliance and just punch on through it. They can get the Blink Force Staff after the Flaming Lasso. They can go ahead and Orchid the Lifestealer and he can't rage. Things like that is what they have to get off very, very early on, but instead they seem to be the ones initiated upon, and that's just because Alliance aren't really making many mistakes. Now going in hookshot, going to be able to catch out Funzy, who was trapped on in the trees there. The Rocket Flare providing enough vision, and the Sprout should be enough here as well. Funzy will be zapped by EGM to bring him down. And yeah, that's another quick pick off for them. Alliance just really, they respond appropriately, and now they can be putting pressure up on that top tier too.
I think that was definitely a miscalculation by Funzy. He really shouldn't be pushing like this. He knows Clockwork has that Aghanim Scepter, so he's always going to have the hook shot up pretty much. So pretty much if he tries to do the shenanigans where he jumps into the trees and blinks out, teleports out, it's just going to end. Like he gets rocket flared, scattered out, or they throw in the trees, cut down the trees, and then he's going to get hook shotted while he's trying to teleport. I think he should really not attempt that again, because it's going to end the same way almost every time, I think, as it looks like Alliance is going to take this break now to clear out the tier 2 top tower.
Yeah. So, okay, we'll clear out the bottom as well, so they are actually sitting at only 4 people here. That could be an opportunity for DD, but without Queen of Pain up and active, their damage isn't really existent. So we do see actually aggression coming out to bring down Goblack. S4 finds a pick off with a hook shot, and Bulldog brings in a Loda, just add a little bit of extra salt on the wound, and actually gives him a little bit of assist golden experience. So setting them up nicely. Looks like their voice has dropped on out, but they're still in such a commanding position. Now you're going to go for a quick pause, and my goodness, what can DD do to actually make this work for them? I mean, looking at the Gyrocopter's items, he's so far behind.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's this. Well, then again, I mean, it's. I don't know if behind, like, when we say behind, it's almost as if we're saying like Gyrocopter has screwed. I mean, I think he's done pretty much okay right now. It's the fact that he's been up against free farming Midases pretty much.
Yeah.
Prophet's had a lot of time in the jungle. He got a Midas himself. Obviously, Loda had a Midas before 5 minutes and has been under pretty much no pressure at all. So, I mean, he's behind, but at the same time, he's still kind of on track. I mean, like you said before, I think it's going to come down to DD making the play, not letting Admiral Bulldog get the initiation in with Loda Rage up. If they can get in there and get the silence, and get the Orchid down on top of Loda and lock him down and then kill him, or even if they can just bait him into a bad position, because they do have 2 superior magic stuns, so if they want to lock him down, they can. All they need to do is get the Bane on top of him, or the Batrider on top of him, and they can manage to deal with that. The question is whether or not they're going to be able to keep the Clockwork away from him, because of course if Loda gets caught out of position, Clockwork can come in and go for the save, so it's going to come down to that blocking the Clockwork, as well as just basically locking down Loda. Bulldog, of course, as the game goes on, I think this is going to be the biggest issue for them. The fact that they're going to be spending a lot of time trying to shut down Loda is that the Bulldog is actually, like you said, pretty farmed, and he's going to be getting to the stage, like he's going to pick up a Hex, and then he might go for an Orchid of his own, or he could go for a Deso or a Maelstrom. He's going to start picking up a lot of his own damage, and he's going to become that backup carry for them. And then I don't think they have the firepower to catch up to him. Gyrocopter tends to more worry about taking down everybody else in the team, but right now, Alliance aren't really relying a lot on Keeper of the Light as well as the Rubik that badly. I mean, Keeper of the Light, obviously, is still working towards that mech, but they're not really relying on the stuns. Then it's pretty much, can we lock somebody down for Lifestealer with the Clockwork more than anything else?
So when the Black King Bar comes out for Gyrocopter, do you think that kind of changes what DD have to do in their engagements, or are they just kind of, without it, they're completely out of luck as far as what Alliance can do? Because, I mean, I still think the hookshot is very, very substantial. 12-second cooldown, right now 1.5-second stun, and it just gets worse from there. So I think the BKB will certainly help against things like Telekinesis, Scythe of Vice, the Blinding Light, but as a whole, they're still just getting rocked on right here. Fucking Man might be able to pick off on EGM. They actually do get enough damage. It's going to be Sox to pick that up for himself, but I don't know. It just seems like that disable. Okay, turning things around here. Bulldog is going to get bursted hard, trying to Sonic Wave on everybody that's approaching to help him out, but should be Bulldog's death shortly after. Anyways, Lotharzing away. No, he does survive. And now Funzy's on the aggression here. Maybe ill-advised because they do jump on in, and so much damage coming in. The Queen of Pain barely gets on out of there. S4 gets a hookshot anyways. Also stunning out onto Sox. Loda with that armlet active going to town. There's the Force Staff to kite away. The stun coming out from Nyx, but with this Blinding Light, he's still up and kicking. He goes for another armlet toggle and is looking for more aggression. There's Admiral Bulldog coming back on in. He TP'd away, only to global teleport back into the fray. Being able to bring down the Gyrocopter, helping out on cleanup to finish off the Nyx. And my goodness, did they just slay that fight. Now we see another Geometry Sight. I guess, yeah, we weren't sure if the first one was destroyed or not, but now, obviously, this one has been taken out of the picture.
I'm just trying to check the Dire Shop. What the heck? Dire Shop at the moment, as I press the wrong buttons. Is their gem on cooldown or not? No, it's not. I think they may have. Yeah, they've probably just managed to snag the Radiant one then. The Radiant one's not on cooldown. Oh, yes, it is. Radiant one's on cooldown. So it was most likely the Radiant one that they managed to snag there, not their own one. And yeah, like the BKB, like you said, coming out on Silent is going to help, but at the same time, not that much, because his biggest issue, I think, is the fact that he is going to get locked in the cogs, put in the corner with the Lifestealer, and that's, I mean, obviously it's going to help stop him from getting wrecked by Battery Assault, but at the same time, it's not going to stop the Lifestealer from chewing his face off. And when he's got the bash as well, I mean, you're stuck in a corner with him, you're going to get bashed, it's going to go right through your BKB, you're going to get shut down and torn to pieces. So there is that, and I'm pretty sure as well, on top of that, Loda is doing way more damage than he is right now. Yeah, he is. Loda is definitely hitting a lot harder between his raw damage as well as Feast.
Yeah, it's really, really big deal how much he can stay. When he's on top of somebody, not only can he stay on top of them with Open Wounds Basher, but oh, actually, Scythe comes out long range onto Funzy. Can they follow it up, though? They need the Clockwork. There's actually a skirmish going on up top. There's the Fiend's Grip coming out onto Loda. Now they followed up the Lassa. So much disable, piercing right on through. He'll have Rage up by the time it finishes. Silent actually, no, he gets dropped down by the Cogs. He almost got on out of there, but instead the Clockwork does get the kill at the end. Queen of Pain dueling out with Bulldog. It looks like Bulldog's actually going to be on the receiving end, but Shadowblade's out once again. And now Loda still alive, raging out of the damage over time effects, only to Armlet toggle back up to full. So, or not full, but Armlet toggle back up to a capable, fightable position, and that forces out the buyback from Gyrocopter. So Fonzie going in, trying to get something out of all this engagement, but there's a Brain Sap on AGM, and he can survive through a heck of a lot of damage. So in this position here, they shouldn't engage. They're going to go on top. They go and just get sheeped up immediately. That was a huge mistake from Funzy. Not sure if it's costing them any more than their current situation already is, but it's certainly not where they want to be at. And if EGM can clean up on F-King Mad, no, he does get the Vendetta, but that Geometry Sight off from Goblak, they desperately need to keep that active.
Yeah, I don't know about... I mean, I think the thing is, like, you see where the Radiant Ward is right there. He saw maybe two heroes here just at this point here on the top of the ramp. Thought, you know what, I can take that. I can jump in there, I can scream, I can burst, I can slay them. And then jumped in there, didn't realize Admiral Bulldog happened to be hanging around, just got instantly sheeped and destroyed. But, I mean, that last fight there in the jungle, the biggest issue, they got the lockdown on Loda. Loda got locked down nice and hard, but the problem was that nobody was following up with the damage. Queen of Pain was off up a little bit further north, just slaying other people, and I think this is the biggest issue. When they lock down Loda, they need to wreck him. They need to drill him down very, very quickly. They can't allow him to get away like this, and now, oh dear. Oh dear, that's an Abyssal Blade.
Look, with the double damage, really... just look at that right-click potential. That's a 400 per right click, and he already has amazing attack speed for H. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, he's not gonna have the double damage to the fight,
Sure,
but at the same time, just the Abyssal Blade. I mean, that is pretty much the end. I think of Gyrocopter really having a chance. If Loda gets onto him, he's not going to survive. There's no way. Not only is it just a crap load of damage, but he's going to be able to guarantee get a huge stun down on top of Silent, and then he's probably going to proc a bash at some point. So Silent's going to be locked down for a good 3 to 4 seconds there, and he's not going to live through that. Not at all.
Yeah. As for kind of Fission, goes for the Rocket Flare, gets some vision, pings it out. And really, he's just had a great game, getting the Aghanims very early on and using it to pretty great effect. And there have been some blocks here and there. He hasn't hit every hook in the book, but been able to make his presence known across the map, and that's really what you want to do as a Clockwork. So in this position here, one thing that I really like about this, combined with the Nake's Bomb pick, as far as the range of initiation, it means that Gyrocopter does not feel safe farming. You look at his CS, and it is 174. It's not Silent's fault, but it's just literally that would be a lot higher if Alliance wasn't putting out so much incredible pressure. But he can't farm up his Ancients. He can't get his GPM the way he wants it to.
Look at that in the bottom lane.
And
look at that the bottom lane. Genesis, you were talking about that Queen of Pain. Like she knew a Nake's Bomb was coming, and it was indeed. Look at that. Bulldog came looking for her.
Yeah, very close. She was actually going to TP away successfully, but man, that was so close. Man. Anyways, yeah, at this stage, Mithril Hammer finally comes out for Gyrocopter, but now the lasso coming on through onto EGM, they should be able to bring him down. Wow, he's still pretty tanky. Despite all that, they commit like 2 ultimates at least to finish him off here, and yeah, that's a lot expended. But, of course, Rubik does get dropped down. Meanwhile, in top lane, Nyx goes for a gank, instead gets Nyx bombed. And there they do pick up the Geometry Sight from Godblack once more. So this will be up and available for Admiral Bulldog now, rotating back down towards that bot lane. And going to farm that up there.
That's that mobility you were talking about. Nyx was just up here. He was pushing that lane, thought he was okay. Thought they were busy ganking Queen of Pain. But you know what? Teleport came off cooldown. They said, you know what? Well, we didn't find Queen of Pain, but there's that Nyx. And they just went up there and destroyed him. Didn't have a chance as he got immediately hexed and blown apart. So I mean, that's just it. You cannot push in this against this lineup by yourself. If you hang around alone, you're just going to get Nake's bombed. Simple as that.
Exactly. And it's not just mobility. As you pointed out, they thought they were one place. There's certainly another one. It's because of the rapidity of their mobility. They have 20-second cooldown global teleport, 12-second cooldown on hookshot. They can be anywhere, not only at a moment's notice, but multiple times over. They can just jump across the map like Spider-Man. It's just ridiculous how they can maneuver so very rapidly with half their team. Add in recall on top of that, and you can't be in, right now DD cannot be in any position and not expect a full, at least 3 or 4 people to be able to retaliate very swiftly.
Let's say scout out the Roshan attempt there. Looks like we're going to see DD. No, I don't think DD is going to get here in time. We've got Queen of Pain. In fact, they're not even going to go for it. Queen of Pain's busy farming the enemy jungle. They're just going to let them have the Aegis. And it looks like Loda. Yeah, Loda's clearing space for it right now, so they're going to give it to Loda. So Alliance will pick up a free Roshan here. Queen of Pain looks like she's working towards a BKB. I mean, that'll help her against the battery assault, but not going to be that useful, as I heard a hook come out. Asphalt doesn't manage to land that one. He's also, should mention, he's carrying the gem now as well. So he's going to get map control back off them. As now Godblack now in some serious... Oh, no, he's going to be fine. Throws down the Nightmare. Actually, no, he's not. There's
not at all fine.
Along with an X-Bomb. Nope.
Not at all. But yeah, that's just something that you unfortunately have to deal with, is that if they have vision of you, they can jump on you, and they're actually making that move this direction here. I don't think they actually know that Silent's here, but they have a good feeling that somebody's been in this area, especially now that they see the easy camp has been taken on out. So now pushing in forward, they have the Aegis, they can siege the high ground, and with this Abyssal Blade, really, Gyrocopter can be locked down in a second if he gets anywhere near anything, and unfortunately, his base attack range is only 375. Flat Cannon sure propagates further, but you have to be close to something to shoot it, and that gives enough positioning for Lifesteal to go on in, but instead, we do see Telekinesis coming out on the lasso, and so now Loda is free to go and Abyssal up the Socks, and he's going to be able to bring him down quickly as well. Now they take down the tower, and there's really not much to be done. Loda has still half HP, active with that arm like going in aggressively, and just obliterates the Nyx Assassin. There's the hookshot on Queen of Pain. They cannot silence him, but there's a good game well played already. They haven't even burned through one Lifestealer, and he's feeling perfectly fine. Burning down the racks and just cleaning it up. So really nicely done by Alliance. DD Dota just didn't have an answer for it, and it really comes down to the fact that Gyrocopter couldn't find farm, only just now picking up his BKB, not even getting a single fight where he could use it.
Yeah, I mean, Loda, they didn't even care about Loda. He was bait. They just said, you know what, you got an Aegis, go up the front there, get rid of the tower, and if they jump you, we'll jump them. Easy as that. Queen of Pain gets cleaned up yet again. But yeah, the GG has been called, and I mean, Alliance, they just basically, all they had to do was just wait for that point. I mean, you just cannot give Loda free farm like that. you're allowing him to go for the allowing him to go for that really, really early Midas. And of course, against most hard carries, like just letting him get free farm, you think, you know what, let's just let ourselves, like, we'll give him a little bit of room early on, but we'll jump him. We'll jump him a little bit later. But the problem is, when you've got the Nature's Prophet charging around the map and then giving load of mobility, it's kind of almost like playing against a Spectre, except it does a shitload more damage in that early phase, like by the 20-minute mark or so, plus comes out with a very, very brutal slow. And then it just came to the fact that he could just Nate's bomb wherever it felt like, and then between the Nature's Prophet and the hook shot from the Clockwork, just nowhere safe, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Exactly. So they control the map very, very effectively, very deliberately. I mean, they picked up a team that could do just that. And I gotta say, the one thing that impressed me the most was how Admiral Bulldog handled that bottom lane. Yes, he did end up dropping down, maybe even to first blood, but in general, prior to that, he screwed over the Nyx Assassin. Nyx only has 255 experience per minute because he couldn't get the first 3 pulls off due to how many blocks that were coming on through from those treants. So that was just really, really nice maneuvers from Bulldog, keeping himself up and active and getting some decent experience for himself. So that was very, very solid. Of course, Loda doing his thing with free farm early, like pre-5-minute Midas. That's something you come to expect once he has a completely uncontested lane. And from there, they played a really, really solid composition. I got to give a shout out to EGM and the fact that he got dropped down so many times, but fear not. Your allies got you covered. A lot of assists coming out, actually 20 on both Furion and the Clockwork Goblin, just stacking it up. I mean, really, S4 and Admiral Bulldog each had more assists than DD Dota had kills in total. So that's participation for you. And going on through, they just cleaned it up nicely. 33 minutes, 20 seconds is the final timer for this match here. Lions taking away 36-19. Good game, well played to them. Do you have any other thoughts on the match before we move forward, Triumph?
Oh, no, that's pretty much it. Should just note that Bulldog has roughly a 70% participation rate with Nature's Prophet. He is if you give him Nature's Prophet, he gets super active. He will charge around the map and he will cause all sorts of pain, as we saw this match. So, yeah, got to watch for that.
Absolutely. So, yeah, nicely done. We saw that great effect here. And we'll be seeing them later on in the Grand Finals, which they have now moved on forward through this semifinal round. So we're going to be seeing them in a few hours here, going in for attempted for the maximum point value here. They have a little bit of ground to make up for. They were in China for the previous cup, and so automatically could not get any points from that, unfortunately. But showing how strong they are, I am very confident that they can get enough points very, very quickly to have a chance to, I wouldn't say guarantee, but a very good chance to qualify for the playoffs, that Premier Cup that we will be having in about a month or so. So thank you guys so much for tuning on in to the Premier League Season 5 Reaver Cup. We're going to be going on into the next match just a little bit, deliberating in Skype as far as what that is going to be. I don't believe EG got their connection issues sorted out, so most likely the next scheduled match is Mousesports versus Kaipi, and we're just going to make sure there's no issues with other tournaments and conflict therein. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be figuring out what the next match is and bringing it to you guys as soon as possible. Should be in the next few minutes.